So basically, these social media outlets who for years have been lax with their guidelines around the activity of children on their social media platforms. This is just one area that is sort of coming home to roost. It's horrible about what's going on with some of the relationships that the younger kids get into because of this and the targeting. But something I think has to, and here's my concern. Nothing's going to happen, but something like there has to be more stringent laws on the activity of children on these social media platforms.
Yeah.
But there's not. There's not.
I don't disagree at all. But I would say this, so shame on Congress, by the way, for not legislating this, right? I mean, it's one thing to sort of
anything.
It's one thing to take the tech companies to task, and of course we should take the tech companies to task here because they have leaned hard and heavy into their sort of platform status rather than publisher status, and all the way since the whatever it was when that law passed in early 2000s or late 90s. I forget.
Long time ago.
Basically giving them, carte blanche as it pertains to that. But basically nothing's been legislated since. And so, yes, they've took advantage, but no, I would say. And then there was another interesting article that I read, which I think is actually the right solution, because for them to say that they can't they can't manage it now, their whole, basically, there's just no way for us to technologically put in filters. Of course, that's wrong. They could do it, but the cost would be so high. However, I think the easiest and best answer that I've seen is that it should be on Apple and Google. Basically, that age appropriate restrictions should be placed. It should be at the hardware level. In other words, a parent can set up a phone so that nothing is available to them and as somebody suggested, that one of the CEOs from one of the companies suggested that, and I thought that was a really good idea, actually.
I mean, that sounds very reasonable and something that's possible and something you could do with those two companies, which are basically the gateway,
right?
But I think it comes down, and it also comes down to the fact that we talked about this many times. We need a better process for verification. And anyone out there can get a social media account on any of these platforms that we're talking in front of Congress very easily and you don't need a driver's license, or you don't need any form of identification. You don't need.
Yeah, I mean, identification, verification. Yeah,
that has to happen so that all these things can work together. Because if you set a gateway on the Apple and Google side, you still have to have that connection point where they know exactly how old this person is, more than just the parents. Because you could make the case, these parents, they should, they gotta, if a kid has a phone or a device in their hand, they'll get around all that stuff.
Yeah,
they will.